Good morning, students. In last classes, we detailedly studied about statistics, the different methods of finding mean, median, mode, as well as graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution, as well as how to find out the median through less than ogive as well as more than ogive types of graphs. In today's class, we are going to learn a new concept, that is trigonometry. Introduction to trigonometry. This is a new chapter, new concept for you. Not only in 10th standard, even this concept of trigonometry, it continues in first PUC as well as second PUC, even in your competitive exams or from the point of higher studies like in engineering also. This chapter has lot of weightage. Okay, therefore it is very important to understand the basic concepts in this chapter very clearly. Once if you understood, it will be very easier for you in higher studies. Okay, without delay, let us learn the new concept, trigonometry. Introduction to trigonometry. If you look at the word trigonometry, there are three Greek words you can notice. One is tri, another one is gon, another one is metron. There are three Greek words. Tri means three, second word gon means angles, metron means measures. If you look at how this single word is split into three terms, here you can understand that trigonometry is related to angles, measures, three. Is it? So, if you combine all these together and if you understand trigonometry, it is the study of triangles. Trigonometry, it is related to the study of triangles. This is what the basic definition. Still, if you want to expand this definition with respect to triangle, trigonometry is the study of measurements of sides and angles of a triangle. Triangle means angles will be there, even sides also there. Therefore, trigonometry is the study of measurements of sides and angles of a triangle. Not only it is the study of sides and angles, but also it is the study of the relation that existing between sides and angles. Okay, therefore trigonometry is the study of measurements of sides and angles of a triangle, also the relation existing between sides and angles. This is what the basic definition of trigonometry. As I was telling, the basic definition, trigonometry is the study of triangles. Therefore, let us consider a right triangle ABC. Right angled triangle ABC. Look at that. ABC is a right angled triangle. Angle B is the right angle. Angle A and angle C are the acute angles, isn't it? Now, angle B is a right angle. There are two acute angles, angle A as well as angle C. Here I have considered the acute angle A. With respect to acute angle A, BC is the opposite side to this acute angle, isn't it? Therefore, with respect to acute angle A, BC, the side which is opposite to this angle, it is called as perpendicular. This side is called as perpendicular. Understood? Okay. With respect to acute angle A, with respect to acute angle A, AB is the adjacent side. AB is the adjacent side. That adjacent side is called as base. That is called as base. Okay. Now, when you consider a right angle triangle, the side which is opposite to the right angle is called as hypotenuse, isn't it? Therefore, AC is the hypotenuse. For that, no need of any acute angle request, just you look at the right angle and see the side opposite to the right angle, and immediately you can come to the conclusion that that is the hypotenuse. But for the other two sides, that is perpendicular as well as base, you should look at the adjacent acute angles. The side which is opposite to the acute angle is called as perpendicular. The side which is adjacent to the acute angle is called as the base. This is with respect to acute angle A. There is one more acute angle C which I have not mentioned here, but just we'll go through it. With respect to acute angle C, AB is the opposite side. Therefore, this AB is considered as perpendicular with respect to acute angle C, which was in earlier case, that is with respect to acute angle A, it was the adjacent side, but with respect to acute angle C, AB is the perpendicular. With respect to acute angle C, BC is the adjacent side, that is called as the base. With respect to acute angle C, in earlier case, it was the perpendicular with respect to acute angle A. There's no changes in hypotenuse, side AC remains as hypotenuse. Therefore, with respect to acute angle, perpendicular as well as base changes. In this diagram, I am going with respect to acute angle A. Therefore, BC is the perpendicular, which is the opposite side, and AB is the base, which is the hypotenuse. And AB is the side adjacent to angle A, it is called as a base, and it is represented by the letter B. AB is the base, which is represented by the letter B. BC is the perpendicular opposite to angle A, and it is represented by the letter P. And hypotenuse, it is represented by the letter H. Therefore, these three terms, perpendicular, base, hypotenuse, is very important in the concept of trigonometry. Okay, till now we understood the definition of trigonometry, then as well as the terms what we call with respect to a right angle triangle with respect to an acute angle. Now next concept we are going to study, that is trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios. This trigonometric ratios, it is also considered as a T ratios. This is very important. T ratios, that is abbreviation, short form you can consider it as, or it is also called as trigonometric ratios or T ratios. What is the definition of trigonometric ratios or T ratios? The ratios involving the sides of a right triangle. The ratios involving the sides of a right triangle are called as trigonometric ratios. Once again, I am repeating, the ratios involving the sides of a right triangle are called as trigonometric ratios. Understood? The ratios involving the sides of a right triangle, that is very important. The ratios involving the sides of a right triangles. Ratios are related to perpendicular, base as well as hypotenuse. These are the sides of a right triangle, are called as the T ratios. Always T ratios are considered with respect to an acute angle. Here is the acute angle, we are right from the beginning going with respect to acute angle A. Therefore, in this case also we are going to study 6 T ratios with respect to the acute angle A. What do you mean by T ratios? The ratios involving the sides of a right triangle. This is the ratio that involves the sides of a right triangle. And this right triangle ABC, we are going to study 6 T ratios with respect to the acute angle A. With respect to the acute angle A. Now, listen carefully. First ratio, sin A, or it is also considered as, generally we call it as sin A. Sine A. Okay, sine A. What is the sine A? As I said earlier, it is the ratio involving the sides. Therefore, sine A means side opposite to angle A divided by hypotenuse. Side opposite to angle A divided by hypotenuse. Which is the side opposite to angle A? BC. Which is the hypotenuse? AC. As I said earlier, opposite side is represented by perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. Therefore, sine A is nothing but perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. Side opposite to angle A divided by hypotenuse gives you the sine A. Second ratio, cosine A. Cosine A. What is cosine A? Side adjacent to the acute angle. Which is the side adjacent? AB. Once again divided by hypotenuse AC. Therefore, side adjacent to the acute angle is base. We call it as base divided by the hypotenuse. That is the cosine A. Third one, tangent A. Tangent A. What do you mean by tangent A? Side opposite to angle A. Once again, that is the perpendicular, you know that. Side adjacent to the acute angle, that is the base. Therefore, BC by AB, that is perpendicular by base. Perpendicular by base. One thing I want to clear you at this stage, if you understood the ratios, if it is cleared, what about the ratio for sine A, cosine A and tangent A? Remaining three ratios you can write very easily. How? Look at this. Sine A, cosine A, tangent A, you have written already. Now fourth one, cosecant A. What do you mean by cosecant A? I have written cosecant A is the reciprocal of sine A. Sine A is perpendicular by hypotenuse. What is its reciprocal? Hypotenuse by perpendicular. That is what cosecant A. Therefore, there is a relation between sine A and cosecant A. If you know sine A, you can write cosecant A. How? Cosecant A is the reciprocal of sine A. Sine A is perpendicular by hypotenuse. Cosecant A is hypotenuse by perpendicular. Next one, secant A. There's a relation between cosine A and secant A. Secant A is the reciprocal of cosecant A. What is cosecant? Cosine A. Cosine A. Okay. Small correction here. It is not cosecant A. It is here cosine A. Okay. Cosine A you have to write here. That is very important. Cosine A. Right. Now look at this. Secant A. It is the reciprocal of cosine A. It is the reciprocal of what? Cosine A. Therefore, what is cosine A? Cosine A, you know that it is base by hypotenuse. It is base by hypotenuse. But here, you can take it as hypotenuse by base. Okay. That is the secant A. Last, finally, cotangent A. Cotangent A is a reciprocal of tangent A. What is tangent A? Perpendicular by base. What is the reciprocal of perpendicular by base? Base by perpendicular. That's what I said. If you know sine A means perpendicular by hypotenuse, easily you can write as cosecant A, its reciprocal, that is hypotenuse by perpendicular. If you know cosine A as base by hypotenuse, easily you can write secant A as hypotenuse by base. If you know tangent A as perpendicular by base, easily you can write cotangent, its reciprocal, that is base by perpendicular. This is very important in trigonometric chapter. But basically, as I said earlier, if you know sine, cos and tan, sine A, cosine A and tangent A, remaining three ratios, easily you can Right. Okay, we already discussed about T ratios. Now the next concept, it is not the concept, you need to understand abbreviations. Abbreviations means short forms. In earlier concept, I told sin or sine A. I have written it as SINEA, but you can write it as sine A. Cosine A can be written as cos A. Tangent A can be written as tan A. Cosecant A can be written as cosec or cosecant A. Cosecant A can be written as cosec. You can call it as cosec. You can pronounce it as cosec or cosecant A. Short form is like this. And secant A, you can write it as sec A, or you can call it as, you can pronounce it as secant A also. You can also call it as sec A. Sec A, you can pronounce it as sec A. Once again, sin A, cos A, tan A, cosecant A or cosec A, and sec A or secant A. Finally, cotangent A is written as cot A. You want to pronounce it as cot A. This is regarding the abbreviation form. Next, reciprocal relations. We already came across this while studying T ratios. Once again, I told you there's a relation. Once again, I say there's a relation between cosecant A and sin A. Cosecant A is the reciprocal of sin A. Similarly, secant A or sec A is the reciprocal of cos A. Similarly, cot A is the reciprocal of tan A. Cot A is the reciprocal of tan A. This is what the reciprocal relations. Okay. And at last, quotient relations. There's a quotient relation. What is that quotient relation? Tan A, it can be written as sin A by cos A. How? I tell you later. Proof is also have taken. Tan A can be written as sin A by cos A. See, cot A is the reciprocal of tan A. Here tan A is written as sin by cos. Since cot is the reciprocal of tan, how can you write cot? Cot can be written as, cot A can be written as cos A by sin A. Cot A can be written as cos A divided by sin A. Okay, cos A divided by sin A. So tan A can be written as sin A by cos A. Cot A is a reciprocal of tan A, therefore it can be written as cos A by sin A. This is also very important while solving proving sums. Last one proof I give you, another one you can try. How can you tell that tan A is the ratio of sin A by cos A? Okay, sin A by cos A, let us consider this ratio, sin A by cos A. What is sin A? Once again, perpendicular by hypotenuse. We came to know through T ratios, perpendicular by hypotenuse. What about cos A? Cos A is base by hypotenuse. Here, both the denominator get cancelled since they are same. Hypotenuse got cancelled. What is remaining here? Perpendicular. What is remaining here? Base. Perpendicular by base. What it gives? Tan A. Isn't it? Therefore, sin A by cos A directly written as tan A. This is what the proof. If you want to clarify for cot A also, you can check it by taking cos A by sin A. Base by hypotenuse comes to the numerator. Denominator perpendicular by hypotenuse comes. Once again, hypotenuse get cancelled. Base by perpendicular you get. Base by perpendicular means what it is? Base by perpendicular means you know that it is cot A. Okay, that is how you can find whether LHS equal to RHS. You can prove also. Yes, this is regarding some of the formulas or relations you need to remember along with the 6 T ratios. These relations are also very important. Finally, there are few points you need to be noted while solving the sums. What it is? See, these are the points. Actually, Sin A means it is not the product of sin into A. Sin into A. Sin A is not the product. Anyone asks you what is sin A? Sin into A is called as sin A. No. Sin A means sin of angle A. Sin of angle A we call it as. Sin of angle A means what? Perpendicular by hypotenuse. Then you consider the particular specific values and you write that ratio. That is what? Sin A is not the product of sin into A. It is called as, it is from that sin of A. Sin A meaning is sin of angle A. Okay. Next. Sin A whole square. Sin A whole square can also be written as sin square A. Sin square A. If cot A whole square is there, then you can written as cot square A. These are the some simple points you should take care. If anybody asks, you should know what is sin A. You can't tell it as sin into A. It is sin of angle of A. And the second point is very important while solving sums also. You if you want, you can note it also. Sin A whole square means sin square A. This is what the some of the basic concept that we have came across today with respect to the chapter trigonometry, that is the introduction to trigonometry. Next, there are few sums are there with respect to t ratios. How to solve those sums we will discuss in the next class.